Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're joining me. I invite you to get comfortable where you're seated. All right, it's Wednesday morning. It's 8 o'clock, at least for me. So find a comfortable position to be in. Maybe like me, you're having trouble kind of like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Which is maybe a little bit what our topic is today too. So I just invite you to relax, close or lower your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together and just start from empty. Taking a big breath in, letting it go. And this time, making sure that when you take your next inhalation, you're taking a really deep one into the bottoms of your belly, just really breathing deeply. Excuse me, letting it out. And one more big breath. And let it out. And just notice for a moment how you're feeling. Notice if it feels any different. You're able to relax and be here. And in this moment, letting go of anything that's come before in your day, anything that may be coming later in your day, and just bringing your attention and awareness to this present moment, this moment that we have together. Feels good to relax for a moment. Feels good to connect, to know and to recognize that God is all around us and within us. And when we take the time, we can actually feel God's presence within us. Like a cool breeze rolling over us. Today the weather is quite a bit cooler than it's been the last few days. I'm feeling very grateful for that. What are you feeling grateful for? Just bring that to mind and send a little purr of gratitude for this wonderful thing going on in your life right now, this thing that you recognize as something to be grateful for. And it can be as simple as, I have the ability to just be in this moment. So just stay with your eyes closed and just breathe. Allowing your breath to go in and out in whatever is the natural rhythm for you. Without judgment, without needing to change anything, just in full acceptance of who you are in this moment. Over the next few weeks, David is going to be doing a series on progressive Christianity. And I thought it would, taking that inward and figuring out what does that really look like and mean for us. So this idea of the word progressive. So think about this in your life. So the word progressive can mean something that's happening or developing gradually or in stages, proceeding step by step. And synonyms are like continuous and increasing and growing and developing and ongoing, cumulative, gradual. It can also mean in a group, favoring or implementing social reform or new liberal ideas. And the definition of the word Christian is one who professes a belief in the teachings of Jesus. Or at least in this definition, it said Jesus Christ. For those of you that do not know, Christ is not Jesus' last name, but is a state of being as recognizing as a holy one. So when we look at something that's happening gradually or in stages, favoring or implementing social reform, liberal ideas, of somebody who professes a belief in Jesus, that's a progressive Christian, at least according to this, at least according to looking at the definition. So what does that really mean for you? When you hear the words progressive Christian, what comes to mind for you? What do you think of? Does it have any meaning for you? Is it something like, I'd rather be a progressive Christian than those other guys? But you really don't know what that means for you. Does it mean something like you're growing and developing step by step in your walk with Jesus, in your understanding of the teachings of Jesus, in your desire and willingness to really walk in the footsteps of Jesus, being the hands and feet of God to everyone you meet? Is that what it means to you? I invite you to just see what comes up for you without judging it, without doing, I should be thinking of it this way, I need to look at it that way. Just be with whatever comes up for you. It's where you're at right now, and in that sense, it's perfect. And if you're feeling two things that are in opposition to one another, hold both. It's okay. Just like we can hold two feelings, excitement and sadness, you can also hold two different ideas of what progressive Christian, being a progressive Christian might mean to you. And how does it change your life? Like, how do you live your life when you think of yourself as a progressive Christian? Does it change how you live your life? Have you always lived your life this way and now there's just a term or a label for it? Or is there a way you live your life now with the conscious awareness that I am a progressive Christian in the world? That my hands are the hands of God. That the words I say can be the voice of God. That my presence can be the presence of God for someone else. That standing up for justice and love and peace and nonviolence may be part of what you're called to do, and it will look different for each one of us. So how does being a progressive Christian shape your life? And how does it show up in your daily life, in your interactions with your friends, your family, the stranger, your neighbor, the homeless person, your enemy. Oh my gosh, how does being a progressive Christian show up in the face of your enemy? So I'd like you to think about that, contemplate that as I read this poem by Reverend Dr. Robert J. Campbell. It's called Confluence. It's the coming together, sometimes in not so wonderful ways, sometimes with the cleansing power of justice like an ever-rolling stream. I used to watch the mighty Ohio as a young boy, at the convergence of the two rivers that make her. Often one would be brown and dirty and the other green and crystal. It took a while for the one to cleanse the other. At times in my little town, as we sat fishing off the dock, the sewers would open for overflow, toxic waste, sewage spewing, discoloring the view clear to the mighty middle. They tell me the river is clean now, even sport fishing allowed. But then there are still times when we hear of a flood, of lethal waste, an accidental spill perhaps, or then again, careless disregard for others. I was thinking of this while witnessing these perilous times, and make no mistake, they are. I was thinking of the words of the sheep herder prophet, "You cows, you oppress the poor and crush the needy. Time will come when you will be taken even with fish hooks. Though you bring me offerings, I have no regard for them. I will not listen to your music. Instead, let justice roll like a river." So I have to ask, where now is that prophetic voice in our land? These days I often walk among gravestones, now far from the river's edge. They are quiet yet full of story, like one I saw after the cusp of a Virginia sewage overflow, evil at the foot of the home of a declarer of all persons' equality. A gravestone, a man's height, father and mother, then on three sides. Son 21 wounded at Gettysburg died the next day. Son 19 succumbed to the squealer of Andersonville prison, a monument too of human brutality. And then a third sacrificed somewhere unknown on the altar of the war gods just 20 years young, a triune offering to build a more perfect union. Sewers of hate spewing their overflow again, converging like an open cesspit, polluting venomous waste even to the mighty middle of the river of life. Where is the cleansing justice of progressive witness? Silenced into spiritual song and sweet platitudes of Jesus? Have we so abandoned our moral compass, or have our centers of prophetic faith abandoned us? Have we so abandoned our moral compass, or have our centers of prophetic faith abandoned us? Some still stand the line of courage, remembering Martin and so many others, but the question has to be asked, not for me, but for our children's children. Have we forgotten our history, or has our unwillingness to educate all caused the abandonment of perspective and history's continents of truth? Convergence, confluence, the coming together. Will this great river of democracy now be forever polluted? Or will there be a new cry from the prophets of this land so that we truly shall overcome? Take a big breath after that one. Part of being a progressive Christian is a call to action. Will there be a new cry from the prophets of this land so that we truly shall overcome? As a progressive Christian, are you willing to be that prophetic voice, crying out for justice, willing to take a stand, willing step by step to continue to learn and understand the issues and the society and culture in which we've created a place where hatred can thrive, where oppression happens, where there is racism, there are still people hungry. There are still people and children homeless. How will being a progressive Christian show up in your life today? Remember, we don't have to do it all. We need to just do what's ours to do and what God is calling us to do, and to do that with courage and to do that with faith. So as you go out in your day to day, may God bless you. May God keep you. May God's arms wrap around you, and may God give you the courage to stand up and to show God's love in whatever way you are called to do as the progressive Christian that you are. Have a blessed day.